So yeah, I wasn't too happy about them going to war against an innocent nation for no reason at all.
Afghanistan, yeah. Six weeks later.
Well, yeah, when you work out why they went to Afghanistan, you only find these things out later. Yeah. I never knew this at the time, back in 2001. But about 2003, I woke up to it. And that would be from David Icke, really.
Right. From his books, you say? Or?
No, I was being a born-again Christian. I was coming out of Christianity, or I was waking up to Christianity. Right. Which is a very hard thing to wake up to once you've got to go through it. I think it's an experience we all got to have, but I had mine. And but I come out of it. A lot of people stay in it, and I just used it as a stepping stone type of thing to knowledge. So I was going out looking for apostate attitudes and heretics, because that's what I was turning into, because I was turning against it. So I found this site on Star Gods. It's called Star Gods. And I found David Icke movie on there. And being used to preachers, because I used to watch a lot of preachers, and seeing David Icke, I thought I was watching another preacher. Okay. But then I was hearing him say frig and bloody hell and all this stuff, and I was going, hey, and preachers can't say that. Is this guy a preacher or what? And that's what, it was the fact that he was swearing, telling me information that got my ears up. I was going, this guy's normal. He swears. He curses, and he's trying to tell me something. He's not like the other guys that I'm used to, you know, like the TV evangelists and things like that. Yeah. And the things that he's saying.
Were you aware that he'd written a book the year after 9/11 called Alice in Wonderland and the World Trade Center Disaster?
Yeah, I was aware he wrote many books.
Have you read that one? Did you read?
I've got one of his books now, but I never read any of his books. But what he had to say on this video was he said simple things like, we think that we're smart, but have a go, and he put the pyramids there. He's going, what about these people? We can't duplicate what they did. Yeah. And I'm going, wow. It was just little things that he said that started to wake me up, and it really worried me. It took this video went for an hour and a half, and it took me about a month to watch it. Okay. So I kept turning it off and thinking about what he said, and it took a while to get in. And then once I looked into what he was saying, I was gone. That was it for me.
You fell down the rabbit hole.
If it wasn't for David, plus, like I said before, I identify with him with the way he'd come to it and all that stuff.
All right. When did you come to WA? Around that time, I guess. Was it?
Oh, that's when I got out the RAF. So I come out the RAF because that's hard to get out after 16 years of service. So I wanted to make it so unfamiliar, so we come to Perth where we know nobody.
Okay.
And was it a good idea? I don't know.
I think so. I think it's a good idea.
David Icke is he's not a guru, but he's just like any one of us. He's just trying to tell. He's not trying to tell us anything. He's trying to get us to remember things. I think is more important. We've got to remember who we are, not be told who we are. Yeah. Because you eventually remember stuff. It's the same as deja vu. You sometimes you walk in a room. I've been here before. This guy said the same thing, or something that's very similar to what you resonate inside yourself. Yeah. I reckon that's a memory of your ancestors, just alive in you.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to just play a little clip.
All right.
Craig, from your first radio interview you did with The Edge. Was it internet radio station? It's a forum actually you're on, wasn't it? The Edge Forum?
Yeah, Edge Forum, yeah.
Was this before you came to WA? Or?
Yeah, I know this is when I got to WA.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, I want to just play, I grabbed a few snippets from it, and perhaps you can comment on it after.
Welcome back. Let's just see if we've got Craig Power on the line. Craig, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Daniel.
All right, Craig Power, welcome to the Edge radio broadcast.
I mean, if you're going to look for the truth, you're going to have to let go of what you believe to be the truth. And one of the hardest things I had to do, very hard, was let go of the cross. Right? I had to let go of the cross because it was just a path to the truth. And that was very hard for me indeed.
So, Craig, are you saying that at one time you did embrace the cross, but now you've come to a different conclusion that it doesn't mean what you thought it meant?
That's correct. I was brought up as a Catholic, and then I became Pentecostal and got born again, filled with the Spirit, talking in tongues. Found out that they weren't projecting a great deal of love, and I left and went on the internet and started looking for the truth. Babylon, the name itself means confusion, mixture, tyranny. It's a place, it's a sphere, it's a dimension, it's a spirit realm, it's everywhere, it's nowhere. The beings inside this realm are not omnipresent, but the dimension is omnipresent. It is the all-seeing eye. Babylon demands blood and fear from the descendants of man. It likes their blood. It likes to keep us in fear. It feeds off our fear. Mm-hmm. It's everywhere. It's nowhere. It's all symbology and blood ritual. Symbology and blood ritual. It's like us. We're in the world, but we're not of the world. We're in Babylon, but we're not from Babylon. Babylon is it's an influence over all the world. It's what's all the bloodshed, all the wars, all the hatred, all the division in Christianity. It's the source of everything. Everyone points fingers at each other when they don't get to the truth, which is Babylon that's pulling the strings over every one of us. And I hate it fervently. I hate Babylon. These aren't Yeshua's words. He never said, I am the way, the truth, the life. That's sun god stuff. I'm the resurrection and the life. He never said that. Eat my flesh and drink my blood. He never said that. He didn't want to be put on the cross and be turned into some pagan sun god. See, when you see the cross, it's the 4 seasons of the sun. It's sun god worship. It's very hard to let go. I know how much Christians struggle with this, but he didn't want to be turned into a pagan sun god. He knew he was going to be. He didn't want to be. Well, this will shock you. You ready for this one?
Go ahead.
After he died, he was more than likely, I can't prove it, but he was more than likely eaten. Because that's what you do with sacrifices.
Whoa.
You eat the lamb. The priest ate the sacrifice.
Okay, that was out there.
12 lines, the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati, that's where it comes from. People go around tracking down Jesus' bloodline and all that stuff, and he married Mary Magdalene and all that stuff. He was absorbed into these creatures that ate him. Well, that's what they do with sacrifices. Yeah. That's what these blood-sucking, blood-lying Babylonian sun god believers, that's what they do. The satanic rituals that go on when they have human sacrifices. They drink their blood, they eat their flesh. Yeah. I mean, no wonder Psalm 22 says they could see his bones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they ate him.
Really? Craig, do you believe that...
Well, that's what I believe. That's why you can't find him.
Because they ate him.
They ate him.
They ate Jesus. Are you saying people...
They ate Yeshua, yeah.
Okay, and how do you know that he...
See, that's what they do in many cultures. At a certain point of time, they eat their king to absorb their power and their strength, and they eat him. And some of them are brought up for that purpose, just to be eaten.
Well, Craig, if
there are tribes on earth that do that.
Well, if he was the king and they ate him, then that must mean they thought he was a king.
That's right, he was a king. He was the last known king of Israel. And they waited all that time, they were licking their lips.
To eat him. Okay.
Great. How's it listening to that after 5, 6 years? You probably listened to it a few times before.
Oh, I've listened to it a few times, but not for a long time. And it's funny listening back to it, isn't it? I was going off.
I've listened to it a few times myself. The first time I listened to it, I must admit, I was quite taken aback. But the more I listened to it, you make quite a lot of sense in the interview. You've done another one with...